It's Dano84 here. Wanted to do an update video to kind of tell everybody what's been going on since I haven't posted in a few months, and I've been not recording any videos. So we're currently sitting in my camp in Fallout 76, which I've been getting back into Fallout 76 lately. I'd say about in October, and basically why I haven't been recording, I kind of got a little burnt out, and I work a regular job, and I was looking to maybe take a break, and then I just took a break longer and longer, and then winter happened and I got busy with the holiday with my job and stuff, and now that we're past that, I decided I might want to do some more recording, and I have upgraded my recording PC, so that would make things a bit easier. So I considered switching to doing some more recording again and trying to make some videos for the channel. So I thought I'd start with a simple update video and go from there. I don't know what I'm gonna play, but I do know that for some reason I have this weird urge to play video games and record myself doing that. So I can't get away from it, so I'm gonna keep trying to do it as long as I can. So now my editing PC is actually better than my gaming PC that I built not too long ago, oddly enough. So that ought to be interesting. But for now, I figured I'd show everybody maybe around my wasteland camp here in Fallout 76, since it's currently set up for Christmas, and I'm gonna tear it down and reorganize, but I also wanted to kind of get it set for Christmas, or leave it shown as it is for Christmas, so that way it could be seen. Now I am in the photo mode right now, and I'm wearing the sweet Pringles head. That's a UK exclusive for Pringles, but I am in the photo mode right now, which is kind of cool because you can see all the details and stuff like that and kind of see how I have things set up. But I don't know if I want to use the photo mode to show the camp because the camera gets a little quick. I think I might, just because that might be a little easier to kind of go through everything, but I was going to do a first person. We will have to switch when I want to show my shelters because I do want to go in there really quick. But for now, I figured we'll kind of get a view of the camp with the photo mode as best I can. And then that way you can kind of see everything as it is. This is, if I'm not, I think I'm majoritively spawning right here when you go to my camp. So this is kind of the way the camp greets you right now. And we'll kind of look around at it and stuff. There's my Nuka-Cola Quantum bot going out to collect for me. I actually would have had the Santa bot still out, but when the event ended, we're in January, by the way. We're almost at the end of January, so it's time to pull down my Christmas decorations. I had the Santa bot, but since the gifts were no longer available and I needed Nuka-Cola for one of their daily challenges, I went ahead and already put him out. This is my third iteration on my camp. I'm using the Big Iron prefab, I think it's called. And the first one I had was the trailer, and like the trailer prefab, we'll see it. I'll show you and I'll point it out. And then I used the one with the icicles. I forget what that's called. And I've learned that editing your camp is very unforgiving if you accidentally delete a wall on a prefab. And my batteries are low, apparently. If you delete a wall on a prefab, it pretty much deletes the whole prefab, which is fine if you're trying to just start from scratch. But when you're trying to move a lot of stuff, it's a little rough on it. So this was how I had it set up for Christmas, and then I suppose we'll start with the house little tour, and then we'll talk about the stuff on the outside. So here's my decorations. I am currently, and this is the other reason I want to start tearing some of this stuff down, I am currently at my camp budget limit, and if you play 76, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, basically there's a number of items you can display, and each item you put has a value that takes up part of your budget. So for instance, you know, that that door hanger right there takes a part of your budget. This takes a part of your budget. You know, that sign takes a part of your budget, and it actually has a separate light budget if it's a light. So like that lamp is different than these plastiform things. So basically everything that I have on display is budgeted me out, and I think my lighting budget is out because I did a lot of Christmas lights kind of everywhere. I think that's 3 different strands right there hooked in there to get one. But currently I've got my one vendor right here. We've got another vendor over here on the corner, which actually is really convenient because, sorry if I'm moving the camera kind of quick, if you spawn in right over here like I was saying, then I've noticed a lot of people actually just hit this corner of this bot for the vendor instead of going around to there. So I guess good on me, making it easy for other players to get to a vendor, because that's usually why people visit your camp. I want to switch this machine out because we've got a new one, so that'll be done soon. There's a stash right there. There's an ammo generator, a flour generator, cigarettes, so it's kind of like gets me my cloth and stuff like that, and some other things, mentats. There's a soda maker. You come down here, I've got my sitting ukulele and a wood pile next to my can shaker and a bottle capper thingy. I put a guy there. It's a glowing skeleton costume on a mannequin. I just put it there at the end to, I guess, surprise people. If you come over here, you've got, obviously I've got the snowstorm. I did have the Northern Lights weather generator. The one thing with the Aurora Borealis, it was kind of nice, but the one thing I didn't like is it sounded like a massive windstorm every time you come here. Right now you can kind of hear, I probably won't have the video too low, the audio, it's very peaceful sounding, but before it was kind of like a loud whooshing noise. It was a really cool thing and the snow looked great, and it was a really loud whooshing every time you spawned into your camp because of the noise it was making. But there I've got my water purifiers, my rad eliminator for your radiation. There's my stim machine. And so I added a lot of this stuff that's on this side, and we'll go through it. I added a lot of this stuff over the last couple months after I retooled this camp to make it functional and kind of separate and put everything in a certain spot. So I use this red rocket prefab for basically all the buffs. So on a daily, if I'm coming in here, I'm going to hit that bowling machine. I can hit that speed bag. I can hit that car race thing. And then over here, I've got my perfume dispenser and then my XP boost for the Mothman tome here. You just hit that and you get that 5% extra XP. But I wanted to also set it up kind of like a game room. So of course I've got the darts. I've got this nice Vaultec pinball table in here. And then, you know, the foosball table right there. So I made it like kind of like a garage setup, but I wanted it to look functional, but also, you know, look like it should be here. There's a boost. I believe that one's perception because it's a telescope. Random nuka generator, which I might switch that out. My nodding donkey right here generates oil. Up here, I've got my cooking generators, and I just built kind of like this cookout area. So you got your Mylark steamer here, I forgot what thresher display there, and then of course your Deathclaw roasting on an open fire. But these all generate meat stuff. I am not playing with a carnivore perk or anything like that, but I have them set up, and then most of my generators are open, so if people visit my camp, they can take their supplies. The one thing I will say about the Fallout 76 community, at least in my experience and just in being on the Reddit online and stuff like that, a lot of people are very generous or very cool in this community. So a lot of camps a lot of the generators are set up as open, so that way if you need something you can kind of grab it. So that's the same with these. I don't play with carnivore. I do use the meats and the food if I'm going to hit a vendor to get some caps, but other than that, they don't get touched a ton. I ended up buying some the greenhouse kit so I could build a greenhouse, and then in here shouldn't be snowing in here, but Bethesda game is gonna Bethesda. I do have my greenhouse set up, and I used to have a lot of these crops just kind of on the ground, and it does take up camp budget as well. So I actually kind of got smart. I decided to build a greenhouse, and then that way I could minimize my garden and have it actually be proper and not just have stuff everywhere. So I pretty much have everything in here. There is razor grain there in the back. There's only one for gourds, which it looks like this one hasn't grown back in. I don't know why, unless someone picked it recently. And there's melons and gourds here. But to do the razor grain, I actually just decorated a little bit on the outside. It looks like I'm missing one. But I put a couple on this outside as kind of decorative pieces, so that way I could kind of grow it at the same time without having to build it larger, because I kind of wanted a compact greenhouse over here. So over here, there you got my camp station, and then this mausoleum was actually something I wanted pretty early when I saw it, and this has probably been the only prefab that has lasted through doing some of the changes I've done in here. I like it. I don't know if I'll ever get rid of it. I do like it. I like the creepiness of it and stuff. So I've kind of built a little bit around that. But inside, we'll kind of come in here. I have a coffin bed, or a mausoleum looking bed, but you can actually sleep in there. There's a chair. And I just kind of decorated it lightly to kind of give it a creepy kind of feeling, but also make it be interesting. So we've got a Mothman lamp up here. We've got another jack-o'-lantern Mothman. We got this cool statue, which I've used that in another spot, but the eyes follow you where you're at, so it's cool. It even does it when you're in the camera mode. And honestly, the cardboard standee, this was probably my favorite looking cardboard standee, and I had to find it in someone's camp for sale for a while to get the plans to make this, but I just like how this thing looks. So yeah, so I set up the mausoleum that way. If we go out, we can kind of see I've put some of my creepier decorations out here to decorate the mausoleum area. I did have we're in the current season, the rust and iron, I think it's called. There was gravestone or gravesite, like freshly dug grave stash boxes. I was going to put them out front here. I still may, but right now with my camp set up for Christmas, the budget's a little tapped, and I may reevaluate some of my decorations, but I did want to use those freshly dug graves, so I may put them up front, or I may put them somewhere nearby. So we've got, of course, this skeleton hot tub, very nice. Nice little Mothman throne back here, and or cultist throne. We got some Mothman. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting, this is newer for me. I got a Mothman egg generator right here. It's pretty much it, just some random decorations. There's an incense burner, there's a wheelbarrow with some skeletons and skulls in it. And then over here, I got this utility prefab, and originally when I had the camp, again, I forget which one it's called with the icicles on there. It's huge. I think it might be like Big Mountain or something like that. It's a huge, or Winter Retreat Resort. It's a huge prefab, and I couldn't even I couldn't even get everything in there because I was already tapping out on budget with that one. So this one's kind of nice size to give you what you need. But I decided to put all my workstations in this prefab. So I have these blue lights, which they look really cool at night. We might be able to see them when I go back to my character mode. But basically I put all my benches in here. So it's a little tight, but it actually works out to be nice and even for getting anything I need to get done in here without clipping or being too awkward in the space. It's a small space, but it does fit all my benches. The only bench or cooking thing that isn't in here would be the cooking surface, and that's in the kitchen because I wanted a more realistic kind of setup. So this is everything that would probably be outside, and you can also see I have my generator kind of clipping through there on the inside. Didn't notice that for now, but I got it real snug up there. I did install these street lights. Again, they might be more visible when I switch to person mode, unless the weather changes enough and we're able to see it, but for right now you can't really tell. But I wanted to add that little ambience so it kind of lights up my camp. When I switch off the snow, I think I'm gonna go with the Atlantic City weather generator, or I may possibly do the thunderstorm. I'm not sure. So things will look a bit different. But if we come down here, that's my ally right now. I'm gonna end up switching this ally out. She's been fine, but I have Adelaide, so I'm gonna end up switching her. But again, with my budget tapped, I didn't want to make too many changes till I can delete some things and have a little bit of wiggle room. But there's a generator right there in the dumpster. This is a generator. It generates acid. This is an excess adhesive. This generates improved and regular bait. I actually leave that open so that way if anybody wants to do their fishing quests, they can get some free improved bait from my area there. We've got a toxic goo generator. This one does blood bags and something else. And then this is the butter churn, the motorized butter churn. So it gets you cooking oil out of there. But we'll go inside now. Kind of make our way. See, we're still sitting in there just hanging out. There's my ammo stash box. There's a nice little snow globe that's going to come out here soon when we do the Christmas stuff. This is from last season, the bowling balls and stuff like that. You can see there's my kitchen area. We got, again, some more lights and stuff like that. I've got the chessboard when it was back in the shop recently. So this stuff, luckily, oh, and I have my medic bag right there. Sorry, I don't want to skip nothing. This stuff you can just place on the countertop. So obviously this is the countertops from the last season. So I'm using those because they were free. But I've got my sugar, spice, salt, basically salt, pepper, and spices generator. You got your tea machine, your coffee machine. There's a soup generator. There's my freezer, this cryo freezer. This is the fishing freezer, if anyone's wondering what it looks like. It's very small and compact, so it's pretty nice. You can make it work in your camp kind of anywhere. And having it on the countertop's nice like that. It doesn't have to take up a bunch of bulky space. Of course, I've got my stove right there that I can cook on. And just above that is an oven. It's a wall mount oven, and it generates meat stuff for you too. So that's another generator. We've got the popcorn machine. I've got a little Mothman statue. There's a water sink right there. We've got the curio cabinet and the Gabe's cupboard right there. And then on the table, I've done some decorating here, and I'm still working with the chessboard to do some other types of decoration. I mean, that's a pemmican generator and the cake, obviously, generator. But the rest of this stuff is stuff that's been in the real world, other than the turkey, and I've displayed it. I think the glass bottle wasn't either. But that stuff's been stuff I found, like this bread box I found, and then it's sitting on the chessboard. And then you merged it, used the free skill when you're decorating, and then you can kind of merge it down into the table a little bit so it hides the checkerboard, but you're able to get the item, the junk item that you want to display on there. I don't even think it clips through the bottom. No, you can't even see it through the bottom. So if you grab the right surface, you can kind of display whatever you want. The camp editor mode is, I guess it's, I mean, I know for me, I was gone for a while, so I didn't notice, but it has gotten better, I guess. And the free editor allows you to kind of do a lot of stuff if you want to play around with placement of things and stuff like that. So downstairs, like again, we'll finish up over here is a tree. There's my steins on display on a nice bar top there. Once you come up, you leave the downstairs, you come up top here. Again, you can tell I love this standee since I want to put him everywhere, but there he is again on top there. I've got, this is one of my bobblehead stand displays, but you'll see in a second I have another display down in the bottom where I can put more of them. Again, I didn't want to take up too many, actually all my display spaces are taken. You'll see why in a second. But I didn't want to eat up more than I needed to. So I just got one, I guess for the world to see if they're in here, because not a lot of people are going to go in my shelters. So I just have the main bobbleheads up here like anybody would. And then when you go down inside my shelters, you'll see more. I got a nice book and magazine rack next to the bed here. Got some of my plushies here. I really like the way these look when they're displayed, so I wanted to have a display of all my magazines, stuff like that. Looks like I'm missing one, so I can add one to it. But yeah, basically, I tried to get as many as I can out there, and I do like this look. I do have the comic book one, but I didn't want it to kind of clash with the theme of this building. I kind of, as you can see, it looks like old rusted metal is this one, but it kind of fits in with the old kind of aesthetic of the building here. I believe this is the Mothman bed. We've got another plushie there on the floor. Let's kind of zoom up this way, and then we'll kind of start looking around. So I've got the Nuka-Cola rug. We've got some Nuka-Cola display there. And then this is where my display budget went. A lot of it was on these. So in here we've got some extra plushies. Some of these plushies are really cool looking. I really like it. So I've got these here on the table, and I've got these. I do have the more modern television, but because of the theme and kind of the way the building looks, I wanted to keep it kind of an old school kind of looking theme. So I went with the old Radiation King TV there. But there's definitely the newer one that looked good in my track home, but not necessarily this one. So we're Nuka-Cola on the wall here, and then around here, this is where I've got my, I guess this is going to be my cat display. So my cat plushies are going to end up here, even though some of them kind of clip through a little bit. It's probably the best way I have to display it. Other than those two scout ones that I got, I'm going to pretty much just only display these up here. And I think they look cool. I like having them on display and stuff like that. I think there might be a few more that I'm missing. I don't know, but if there is, I've got space, and if not, then I've got space for future ones up here. So that's that display right there. And the rest of the plushies I kind of have just kind of planted around. There's another area where I have some plushies planted around, but these are the plans I like finding in other people's vendors. When I'm searching for plans, is the random plushies I don't have, but I have a lot of the stuff now. For my camp and a lot of the plushies. I am still missing a few, but I have mostly all the ones I want, I think. You know, I'll get them as I get them. So this is the end of the upstairs here. So we'll kind of track down here. I may do a cut here, because what I'll do is I'll switch to first person mode or normal camera so you guys can kind of see the rest of the camp, because we're gonna go check out my shelters now, and I can't really do that. Oh, I guess I didn't need to cut it. We can't really do that with the photo mode to go in between. So now we're gonna see all the stuff on the screen. Oh yeah, and this is a stash box right here. So we have a stash box. I guess I could show a little bit. Obviously, see, this is what I was talking about. You can come in here and you can still work pretty easily. It's not too cramped or anything like that. You know, here's what it looks like when you're walking in here. So basically everything kind of looks like it's livable, and you know, it's spacious enough that I can move around without having too much trouble and get to my generator. So there's my bottle cap press, you know, paint can, whirlwinds, again, wood scraps, brewing station. See, it generates those things. This thing is amazing. Not gonna shill it and sell it, but it's amazing. It generates ammo fast, as you can see right there. Worth it, especially because I'm running the Elder's Mark. So worth it for the ammo, because this thing burns through ammo. I at one point I had over 7,000, but you'll see it fires fast. So it's worth it to have an ammo generator like that. But I do currently subscribe to Fallout First, so I do have quite a bit of stuff in a scrap box here that's helping me maintain my space and everything like that. So let's go down into my shelter. I'm kind of getting long in the tooth, as they say. If you're old and you say sayings like old in the tooth or long in the tooth. This is the first shelter, and what I think I'm going to do is link them all together so they're a chain. So that way I only have to display one, because again, the shelter entrances also take up camp budget. So for this one, this was the first one I was working on. I pretty much just put, there's my rusted coat of arms. There's my alert to fix my controller. Future me will edit that part out where the battery died on the controller. Edit it out or minimize it. But basically, there's my rusted coat of arms. And I have instruments here. This was the first one I was working on, so I kind of slapped a lot of instruments in here. But this is my display. This is a stash box, coffin stash box, which is really cool. That may end up top sometime. And again, there's a bed. That's a tomb. There you go, tomb bed. But this is my display room. So I pretty much everything is on display in here. I did build some benches down here because I debated if I want to have benches up top to save space, because you can kind of get away with, I don't have enough lighting in here. You can kind of get away with just having maybe like a weapons bench, maybe a tinker's bench, and you really, maybe you don't need to have the rest all the time, and you could just come down to your shelter and use it if you want to go through there, but it's another loading screen and everything like that. So I ended up putting the benches down here, so I have them extra, and then that way if I change my mind or I decide to do something else. I love the way these blue lights glow, although it's not glowing much in here or giving you enough light, but I do like these glows, so you'll see I use them quite a bit in areas. But I put all the benches here. I did put that on there for decoration. Another camp stove there, tinker's bench. But this is my display room, basically, as we've got this clown just kind of going off, which was another favorite find of mine. Nice little animatronic clown. I was gonna put him up top, but I figure he's probably right here at home in the display room. Over here though, basically I have all the junk that I found in the real world while I'm exploring that I want to display, because I figured part of my camp, maybe my guy would make a monument to everything that was, and try to display it. So I did grab, unfortunately, you get some weird issues like that, but I mean, hey, it's a display case. I did try to grab some perfect items, like that's a perfect flag that's not damaged, because a lot of times they're damaged. There's a unrusted can. I believe that's a perfect violin. I could be wrong, but I know that's an unrusted tin can there too. But I've kind of just been grabbing junk that I feel like displaying, because I feel like my character, like I said, could be living where he'd want to display the stuff. So this one, I don't know how I feel about these display cases. Like, they're nice, but it's a little fogged up to try to see inside of it. So I may swap these out at some point. But you do got, there's an Assaultron head, a skull, get some money. Just some random junk that I found. This was an extra ball that I got made, so I just threw it in there. Gold. There's an untarnished or unmessed up carton of cigarettes. I did buy Fallout 76 on release, so I do have the posters for the Tricentennial Edition. They might be a shop item now. I don't know if this is the only way to have them, is from having it on release, but I do have them since release. So I decided to put those in there. This is a perfectly preserved pie someone gave me one night. I haven't got my own out of the machine, so this one's going to be the display one down here for now. But there's some more items that I found in my travels, and like I said, I try to get the ones that are perfect if I can put them in there, just because I think they'd be cool. And then over here, I decided to put some mannequins down here to display some of the outfits. I did do some lighting, so it kind of shines on them like that, so it looks cool. And then I can change these out if I want. But these are just the current ones I went with. I really kind of dig this mask, and I dig this mask because skulls, and I like skulls. So I decided to put them up front and just kind of pick some cool pieces for them to wear, outfit-wise. That way it could free up a little bit of space, but actually like cool. Here's a nurse, obviously. Here's a clown. This was the first, I put this one here because this was the first suit I was wearing when Fallout 76 came out, and literally not playing for 7 years. Oh, controls have been temporarily disabled. Disconnected from the server. So if I did it right, there should be a cut, and then we'll come back. I don't know what happened. I got to work on my connection to the internet, to the upstairs. It's a little weak sometimes. I don't know if that's what it was, or if that was just the server on Bethesda's end. It might have been, you know what, it might have been disconnect because the store update. Anyways, I have this clown display, this clown costume display, because when Fallout 76 first came out, this was actually the suit I was wearing. I forget where I found it back then. But I decided to make this my go-to for what my guy was wearing. I have a picture like 7 years ago of my character. I think I posted it on Instagram or something like that, wearing this whole clown outfit, wandering around Fallout 76, which was a completely different game when it released to now. You know, it was vacant. They didn't have any NPCs and stuff like that. That was one of the, I think it was the Wastelanders update. They added NPCs and quests and stuff like that. So them doing that has made the game feel very different. So I've changed costumes. Oh, I don't know how I ended up in my hazmat suit. Let's get back to what I should be. I'm gonna go put my armor back on. That way I don't forget. Grim Reaper outfit. If I wasn't running the Vault Boy mascot, which is the Pringles head right now, typically I would be running the Mad Scientist mask. I don't know why, I just really like the fly mask here. So that's my normal way of wandering the wasteland, is kind of dressed like this. I've got the Mothman, Pip-Boy there, accessory paint skin. But yeah, usually I'm rocking this for my look and style, but because of the Pringles hat, the head right now, I'm kind of rocking that, which is very cool. And I do have this. So my character used to be, he had glasses because I wear glasses because I'm blind and a nerd. My character was basically wearing this clown outfit the whole time, but he's kind of upgraded. He's much cooler now with the way he looks, and he actually looks really good if you put the patrolman sunglasses on, because you know that's the way to be right there. Of course, my beard has a little bit more gray in it these days. But we'll go back to the mascot head and stop playing around with that. But basically, that's why the clown is on display here. And then, of course, I have a pink hazmat suit. I've started to try to collect the hazmat suits. The one I had on just now was camo, but I started to collect the different hazmat suits. I think I have black, the teal, the pink one, the camo one, the regular one. The damaged one I used for the longest time, but now I'm using the camo one just because I like the way it looks. And then over here, I have some lighting down there, but I haven't done full lighting down this way. But I got my Nuka-Colas on display. I decided I wanted to display the different types of Nuka-Colas that are here. and the Fashionac, hopefully I'm saying that right, the Fashionac masks are on display over here. So everything I've gotten, I haven't done these originally. Obviously, I've been gone for 7 years from the game. So these have been from the ones that happened recently, and a lot of people's player vendors were selling these different masks. So I tried to pick up at least one of each. There's a couple I have duplicates of, and I have some others in stashes that are duplicates. But I wanted to display them down here, and of course they're not all Fashionac, because that's a Brahmin skull, I believe, right there, and that's a sheep squatch imposter mask. There's a glowing skull. So I kind of threw it on there. I just haven't gone down here to reset it. This thing is kind of like clipping through hard, but I like it because it's all bloodied and stuff, this mask, so I may wear that at some point. But I wanted to display these and try not to mess with them too much, so this is where I have these. And I just put these little drown things, because if you do the fishing quest, you're gonna have plenty of these plans. Another beer sign display down here. But what we have next is the vault lobby shelter. So if we go over here, this is another sort of display room, but this is the display room for my power armors, which I haven't fixed them and updated them. I have a few different power armor skins I want to equip and build and set up, but I decided this was going to be my main power armor display. But this is where I came up with the idea of just linking all the spaces from that first shelter to go through the rest. So you see I have the well, I'll see what the name is. Let me just walk over to it. This is the Radiant Remedy entrance, and then I have a casino entrance right here, but I haven't linked them all up yet, so going between them is not as smooth as I want it to be. I decided to move my teddy display down here because I was running out of teddy area or display area. So down here I built this big old display case for just these little teddy bears. My favorite teddy bear honestly is the Teddy Fear, since I like horror movies and stuff, and I think I re-got them all. The problem that happened when I scrapped one of my prefabs is all of my teddy bears got scrapped because they weren't locked. So now every time I put something on a display, I actually lock it to hopefully not have that happen. But they got all scrapped when I scrapped the building, so it was kind of a wash. So I had to start over on collecting them. Luckily the teddy bears are pretty easy to find over time, but I think I've got them all. I just got the blue one yesterday because I thought I had them all, and then I had that one. So, and the stuffed one actually right next to it I got yesterday. So apparently there may be a couple that I'm missing, but I think currently I have them all, but I'll check it out. Again, this is where I've got more of my bobbleheads. They're still not even all up here because I know I'm carrying some in my inventory right now. So I decided to bring them down here. And then I do have these mutated ones. I guess that's what they might be called, these mutated bobbleheads. So I decided to set up a separate display for them. Got some signs. I really like those signs, so I had to have them somewhere. But here's where I have my power armors, and this is where I want to keep my power armors on display. This suit's really cool. This has got a green skull head that comes out, and then I think I mixed it with a I forget which paint that is, but I mixed it from what it was because it's on a different set normally. But I decided to put these all here. So like I said, I got to come back in here and edit them and skin them to make them look how I want them to look. But I figured this would be a nice display for all my power armor, so that way if I wanted to come grab one and use one. I'm not a power armor user. I might start eventually be a power armor user, but for now I haven't been a power armor user. So they're kind of just sitting, and I'll eventually edit them and kind of go from there. But this is where I want them to display. And then the power armor is a little glitchy, so I put this stand back here to try to work on it. These are some more shelters that you can access. So there's a housing development shelter, which we'll go to in the flatlands. I don't think I've done anything with yet. So we'll run around here real quick. Like I said, I don't want this video to take forever. The next area, and like I said, I got to figure out the chain for how I want these things to go, because I want them to go one through one, and then at the end you can kind of come back to the beginning again. So I started to decorate a little bit down here. I decided I'm going to put all my glowing fish down here, and I know the bluing one doesn't count, but it's kind of cool, so I wanted to put it on display. So we've got all the glowing fish I've caught so far on display here. My tubes are going to be down here. I guess I can turn off the light so we can kind of see how it looks ambience wise. See, that's why I like the blue lights. It gives it a nice kind of glow. But we've got the tubes down display here. I did sink some lights, and that's where I was talking about the free camp building. I think I sunk some lights near the top, so that way it would shine down a little brighter, because these things are a little dark, I think, without extra light. So I did put some lighting, just kind of sunk it inside there, so that way it would kind of glow a little bit. So I'm still trying to get all the tubes. I don't have them all yet, but I want to put them on display down there. There's generator because I need power again. My favorite cutouts there, the eyes that follow you on the statue. But this is one of the shelters. I've done some work in here. I still got more stuff I want to do. You can see the blue glowing through on the other thing. I need to put some more of my stuffed animals down here that I found. But this is where I decided to give them their own little creepy little hideaway, so that way if you're exploring, it's kind of like, hey, why are all these guys down here? So the bigger ones are going to be on the back here, and then obviously the little ones maybe are telling a campfire tales, because who doesn't love that event? We got a nice little jail door, so they're kind of locked up, but I want to finish putting more in there and kind of make this another stuffed animal area, just because I don't know what else I would put here. But this shelter's pretty nice. Do a quick run through. Like I said, I know it's getting a little long in the video. It does have another story to it, basically. So you have all this space down here you can build in, and then there is another layer down here. So it's kind of cool because the shelters, it's a little more relaxed on your building, but it gives you a lot of space to kind of decorate. Oh, and I did already put a door here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So now we're at the bottom, so you can't really go anywhere else. So rather than have to go all the way back up to the top, I wanted to install a way to get through to the next one. So that's the high stakes one. So now we can go through there. So this is what I was talking about. I want to make my shelters all a chain, so that you can run through them and then see the each, you know, different area that I set up. Now this is the high stakes casino. This thing is huge. I haven't even begun to decorate it. So over here, the only thing that I've really done in here, I obviously put power in here, but the only thing I've done in here is I'm displaying my exoddles right now. So again, you can see I love the blue lights, but the exoddles here that you catch, and you can only catch one of each type each month. So to kind of keep track and help myself remember which ones I have, I just built 12 racks, and I'm going to put them for each month. So I caught November. That was roughly when I started playing again on 76. I got December's fish right there, and I already got January's right there. So then I can kind of put each month: February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December again. So I wanted to do that as an easy way to keep track of which ones I might need. So I don't forget, because you can only catch them for that month, and then you got to wait a whole year, and there is an achievement with that. But this is the casino, and this thing is huge. I don't even know how I'm going to decorate this, because again, there's a camp budget, and the budgets are a little more forgiving in some of the shelters, but I mean, this is a lot of space. This is a lot of real estate. I mean, you could put a lot of cool stuff in here, but you're also possibly going to round out. I did start dropping some tables so that it at least looks a little bit like a casino. So there's some card tables. There's a stage. I could probably put some instruments up there or something. We've got a nice little roulette table over here. And well, we put more roulette tables. So yeah, I basically made this the roulette side of the casino. Because like I said, I want to get in here and start decorating. I just don't know how I'm going to do everything yet. And there's some more card tables back here. So I guess this would be like your high stakes area, I think I was thinking. And you got your floor area here, and then you've got another poker side over there. And then plus you've got this whole bar area that you can do some stuff with. So there's a lot of space in this one to decorate. I just haven't gotten to it yet. That said, I'm trying to think of the easiest way. Let's go, I'll do this on the fly. We're gonna go with structure. No, I want, oh, it's camp pieces, shelters. I want to get us to one of my other ones, and see, some of these are kind of large. I haven't done anything in the abandoned mine yet. The Wrangler Casino I haven't built yet, and it's lagging the hell out of my game. Triumph is probably the next thing that we can go to, so for now I'm just gonna drop that there, because if I go out the door it'll take me back to my camp, but I do want to go to the Triumph. So don't ask me how that makes sense that you can call a vertibird in from a casino, but we're going. Now this one, I thought it'd be cool to build a city, but funny enough, I decided to do one better for myself. And this is, I'm calling it my prefab display. And let's switch up to photo mode. This is my prefab display area. So basically, and we'll walk through here real quick, but this is where I set up all the prefabs so that I can see what they look like and figure out how I'm going to use them. The other thing is I have, I think I have all my shelters linked over there too. So if I had to pick, this would probably be the last place that you would link to in my little shelter plan maybe, and it has a way to get to all the shelters or back out. But this is there's obviously the prefab I'm using right now. This is another one, a shed one. There's the water slide, which you can go down. I like those. I really want the I think there's a black one. I would really like that, but this is, I have this in one of my camps. This little trailer here. Haunted Mansion, I believe. This is the prefab I was talking about. You can see the size difference. That's the one I'm currently using, and then this is the one I was talking about with the icicles. It has like 4 stories. It is hard to decorate, and I had everything basically on the dock, or on the deck here, and like all my benches were right here, and then my resource generators were out back, and then I was trying to move stuff, and I clicked one of the walls, and it deleted everything. I had a pretty nice setup, but this thing is kind of cumbersome and big. So I'm not mad that I'm using the Iron Mountain right now. So that one's a little big, but here's another prefab in the collection. There's the mausoleum without anything. Some of these tent stand displays. This is the cool one from this season. It's basically a throw to New Vegas. You can put a gift shop in. Well, it's like the gift shop, but you can put, it's snug, but you can get some stuff in here. Where's the stairs? I think every time I walk in here, there they are. I forget where the stairs are at. And apologize for the bright lights. This prefab, or this shelter, just is blinding sunlight, so it kind of clips or bleeds through on some of these prefabs. But you can see, you can look out from the top here and take a photo if you wanted from up here. It's kind of cool because you can see all my prefabs from this corner too. So we'll head down and out. So I figured setting these up would give me a way to kind of check out the prefabs, because I do have the camp pack. They had a camp pack on sale during the holidays to get your extra camp spaces. So I do have all the camp slots available. I'm trying to build some fishing camps, and I'm trying to go with themes. So I may set up certain ones a certain way, and none of these have doors, just to make it so it can go through. This is the prefab I was talking about. This was the first thing I had, and I had it very cozy. I had all my benches pretty much outside, had a nice kitchen set up, and this was another prefab where once I hit the button, it deleted everything inside. But I do like this prefab. I've seen other people have it at their camp, and it does make a very nice cozy setup there, this kind of track home thing. It's one of the, I believe this is one of the Brotherhood of Steel prefabs. This is the one from this season. I really want to use this thing. This is one of the taverns. Believe it's like 3 stories, and it's a nice little setup here. You've got some broken wood and doors that kind of built into it, so it looks run down and rusted a bit. So I kind of want to use this prefab somewhere on one of my camps. I might. I might use it in the future. I just haven't used it yet, so I got it set up here on the corner so I could take a look. There's the blue caravan. There's my red rocket that I had. I really want to use this gas station. It's snug, but I want one of my camps to have this because I have some automotive pieces, and this also is a separate piece, but it comes with this where you would have your gas pumps and stuff. So I want to set that up somewhere. Maybe one of my desert locations will be perfect for this, in that tavern. Kind of make a little town out of it. Here's another prefab Brotherhood. I believe it's a small one, but it does have a downstairs that you can kind of access right there with a nice spiral staircase, which we don't have a ton of those, so handy. Again, there's another prefab. You can kind of see the prefabs are nice because they make it easy to build. They're just a little tricky if you accidentally hit delete, as everybody will know. This is a tight little prefab, but you could do some stuff here with that space downstairs. It kind of opens up to a nice platform up here. You got your little observation area. Let's see, we can get over here to this prefab. This is a nice little rail car prefab. You could make this kind of like a little diner setup or something like that. There's a watchtower. I'm not going to climb in all of these things. You can kind of see. But this is all the prefabs. And then when you get back here, then I started putting my shelter entrances. So you have your fire department, although this is a prefab right here too, this fire department. And you can slide down the pole. Here's the one thing I don't get though. I'm gonna show on this one. I think this one will do it. I think if you slide down the pole, I think it starts you back at the top, which is kind of weird to me, because if you go down the pole, wouldn't you want to be at the bottom and stay on the bottom? See? Like, why have me slide down? Which the point would be to get to the bottom if it's gonna just run me back to the top. Like, I guess if you just want to slide down it and play with it, fine, but the point of it would be to go down, you know, like, because you want to leave. This is the abandoned mine. This is the prefab for that. So I may use this somewhere too. I kind of like the way this looks. I'm a fan of the, and it's probably because I live out west, but I'm a fan of these kind of rundown wood and metal, you know, corrugated roof, aluminum roofs and stuff like that. I'm kind of a fan of that look because I think it's because I get used to seeing it so much here myself. There should be... Maybe I didn't place it there. There is an abandoned mine shelter. This is the first one that we came in, the vault utility room, but there is an abandoned mine. This is the vault. This would be where my power armors are displayed. This is the other option for the entrance. There's some of them have double options. This is a single option. This is for the abandoned mine, which I haven't done anything with it yet. There's a vertibird, so we know that's the other one. Yeah, that's the flatlands, because obviously we don't need one to get into here. This is the Wrangler Casino, which is a new one of the prefabs they have, and we may step inside that one. This is just a dome prefab I set up. This is the Red Barn prefab over here, and this is another prefab. I haven't tried to place some of these with these big ground pieces. I know in the past, if you watch videos talking about these, they're a little difficult because of the ground space and the chunkiness of it, but now that you can kind of float pieces into the surface of the ground, it might be easier to place those, but I haven't tried it yet. We'll go into the casino kind of as the last one. But yeah, this is prefab. I'm gonna call it Prefab Island, but my little zone of prefabs here. So that way I can kind of see what everything looks like and play with. And I kind of want to try to see if I can fit all the prefabs in there and kind of examine it. This is one of the new shelters, so it's kind of got, I mean, it's big. It's not as big as the casino, but it's gonna have some of the problem like the casino where there's quite a bit of size to work with. But you've got, you know, your cage here you could set up, or maybe this could be the cage room, and this is the floor, so you could decorate this. The one thing I think that's a miss on some of these shelter, I might be able to in here, I haven't tried it, but some of the prefabs that we were just in and talking about, you can't redo the walls or anything like that. Like if you free build, you can decorate the walls and the floors. Sometimes these you can't really adjust that, like with wallpaper or anything. So that would be a downside if you're a builder or you're a decorator, is that you don't really have that flexibility to, I don't know why it sounds like metal grating. I know I'm going to say Bethesda problem, but I don't know why it sounds like metal grating when I'm walking on a wood floor. And you can see we're back out front here. That is one of the downsides though, like I said, to some of these is that you don't have some of the flexibility that you have if you free build. And I've seen cool free builds and I've seen cool prefabs, you know. So I guess it works to have both options. It's just sometimes if you want to do both and have a cool prefab and add a little bit of flair to it. But as you can see, there's a lot of rooms in here and places to decorate. I just don't know what all you would be able to put in this space with the camp budget, but it's a lot. You could make it a hotel or something, and then that way you don't eat up a lot of the space in your rooms. You know, you can just drop down a bed and flooring and, or, you know, a bed and dressers and stuff, and have it be really kind of minimal, since it would be like a hotel room. But there is a lot of space in here to decorate. I mean, you can see there's a lot of floor space down there. It gives you options, but it depends on how much you can actually fit in there without going over budget. So we'll go back out. This should take me back to my regular camp, and that's where I'm probably going to be wrapping up the video anyways. I went a little long. I've had a few interruptions, but I'll probably wrap it up there. But I just wanted to update everybody. I want to get back into making videos, and I figured this would be a good update slash kind of show off my camp a little bit, since I've been playing this for the last few months and getting set in the gaming for this. Hopefully you guys that are stuck around will watch videos that I put out. If not, you know, I'm just kind of putting them out because I want to. I don't really do them for anybody specific. I want to try some different things editing. I had mentioned it, I think, in maybe one of the last Doom videos I did. I want to try some different things editing, and hopefully I'll be able to do that now with a better PC. I've already tried editing kind of on a play around. One of the videos I was gonna try to edit, that proved to me my PC needed to be updated. I definitely see it's gonna be a lot easier to do what I want to do on there. On there, what am I? Never mind. I don't want to say anything, but I'm like way off. But I see it's gonna be easier on there, so I want to start editing, and it's gonna be easier to use the PC now to do the editing that I'd like to do. So hopefully I'll try something a little different on the videos. That way they're not as lengthy. Like this one's kind of long, but I don't want them to all be super lengthy and an hour long like they used to be. I kind of want to try to make them a little more shorter. So I have some ideas on how to do that. And if you guys stick around and you enjoy any of the videos, you know, like, comment, let me know what you think after I start throwing in some edits and stuff. I don't know what I'm going to play. I've got a lot of PC games I need to catch up on, and I still got a lot of console games on the shelf that I want to work through. Any, you know, from PS2 all the way up to current gen stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of go at random, but I do know I want to play some of my Steam games, because like everybody that's a Steam gamer, you probably have a massive backlog you haven't touched, and I need to touch mine. Oh, and you can see my lights a little better out here. So yeah, hopefully you guys stick around, and like I said, if you do see stuff that you like or you don't like, comment. Otherwise, you know, thanks for watching this video. If you wanted to watch this update, thanks for checking in with me and seeing what I got going on. And like I said, I kind of memorializing my Christmas setup right now, but that's because it's coming down and I'm going to redecorate a bit. So thanks for checking that out, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.